I hear 'em chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the top.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. I'm here with Courtney today with the Flipping Nomad, and we have the ultimate Montana behind us. Courtney, tell us a little bit about what this rig is here.
So this rig is kind of a concept RV built between my business, which is the Flipping Nomad, and Keystone RV Company. So my business renovates RVs. Keystone took notice about what we were doing about 3 years ago now. And they reached out and they said, hey, let's do one together. And so we joined forces, pulled out every trick in the book that we had, and this is the result.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So we are gonna walk through it. We're gonna hear a little bit more of what her inspiration was behind this RV, the different things that she did to this RV that make it one of a kind, unlike anything else you've ever seen. So let's go.
Let's go.
Hi, my name is Myles, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I just wanted to take a chance to introduce myself. I've been selling RVs in Dallas, Texas for about 3 years now, and I have nearly 200 videos of different RVs that I sell on YouTube to go check out. So lots of videos there to go check out on my page. Now we are with Courtney and the Flipping Nomad today, and Courtney has some really amazing coursework on her website, theflippingnomad.com. So you should go check those out. She has both her RV Beginners Bootcamp, and then she also has her RV renovation courses. So the Beginners Bootcamp will teach you everything you need to know about how an RV is built, so you can really understand your RV. And then she also has the RV renovation courses, which are going to teach you so many different things about how to renovate RVs. We talk much more about her courses later on in the video, but I want to make sure that you know those are there, and you can use the discount code Myles to get 20% off her courses. That's Myles spelled with a Y, not an I, but you can get 20% off her courses. There is so much information in all her coursework, way more than I feel like I could ever provide for you. So I really encourage you to go check those out and go get her courses if you want to know more about your RV and how to renovate an RV. All right, so again, we are here with Courtney and the Flipping Nomad. This is the ultimate Montana. So tell us more about what exactly this Montana is and where the inspiration came from to build something like this.
Yeah, so this was a custom built shell for us by Keystone. It started as a 2020 Montana 3791 RD. And now I say it started that way because it is very, very different on the inside, outside, you know, hitch to bumper, total overhaul. And so, like I said, Keystone and my business joined forces on it. And so, you know, the first thing that you notice on the exterior that's so unique about it is it's black. It is wrapped. This is not a paint job, so it's a custom wrap that was done for it. And then up here in the generator bay, you know, this is normally where the generator goes, but this thing, I mean, not only is it a pretty face, but it's also very off-grid capable. So this is the powerhouse to the RV. This is 4 of the Battleborn Game Changer lithium-ion batteries. Each one is 270 amp hours for a total of 1,080 amp hours. And so this is basically the fuel tank that stores the fuel that the solar panels create. So the solar panels feed the batteries feed the RV. And this is a very insane install, very high dollar stuff.
Yeah, this is crazy. So I'm curious, because I know with RVs and wanting to run things off of solar, finding space for batteries is one of the biggest obstacles I feel like people run into. So this is just 4 batteries that can run the whole rig essentially.
Correct. Yeah, and these are kind of a special battery. They are the Game Changers. So you might have to get kind of up here at the angle to see how deep they go.
Oh,
so
yeah,
they're each
huge.
This size, but they go, you know, what, 1.5 feet back. Wow. Yeah, and so most lithium ion batteries are 100 amp hours each. And so with these being 270, you know, they're 2.5 and change the size of what a normal 100 amp hour battery is. And when we originally built this RV, we had 10 100 amp hour batteries mounted under the bed, but that was before this size was available. And so when this size came out, our friends over at Battleborn swapped us out for this because it's a lot more efficient to have the batteries in this bay than it was to have them under the bed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely something that I know a lot of people have. I've been getting more and more questions from everybody about solar, and I always tell them like the toughest thing is finding the battery capacity. So having those size batteries, definitely a much better setup, it looks like, than maybe doing like 8 smaller batteries.
Yeah, it's just a good option. And like I said, this size is fairly new, so not a lot of people know that they're out there. So yeah, these are the Game Changers from Battleborn. And then you got to check in this bay too, because this is kind of the rest of the brains of the operation.
Oh yeah.
In there, all the wiring and, you know, kind of that necessary craziness that keeps the system going.
Yeah, so you just have the 3 solar charge controllers. Is there anything
Correct.
else that's a part of this solar system other than what we're seeing here? Because this, you can see in here, you got the 3 solar charge controllers. Definitely much bigger than what you get on something that comes with like a 200 watt solar flex package from Keystone, or even their 400 watt package. So you're getting, I mean, definitely installing much higher capable or higher grade equipment here to manage everything and run everything on here. So pretty impressive.
Yes,
Is there anything
thank
else
you.
that's a part of, other than obviously the panels on top?
No, that's pretty much it. I have monitors inside, so I can see what all the systems are doing. I can see what the panels are bringing in and where the batteries are at. But other than that, that's about it.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's go back around to the other side here. So you have it wrapped, and so who's the company that did the wrap on this?
So the company that did this, it's BGS, and they are located in the Indiana area, which is where Keystone is and where the rest of the RV manufacturers are. And BGS actually supplies a lot of the graphics just for, you know, like General Montanas and, you know, other brands on Keystone's campus. And so when we had the rig about halfway built and halfway designed, when it was time to start talking about the wrap, and I told them, I said, I just want the exterior to reflect the interior. And this was version 1 that they presented to us, actually. They absolutely nailed it. I love it.
Did you have any concerns about it being black? I mean, I'm sure you probably had some reservations there with that.
So when we built it, you know, it was built to be a showpiece, and we debuted it in December of 2019, and then we all know what happened in 2020. And so, but we had built it with the intentions of it being a showpiece, and we thought, you know, black is going to look so good and be so slick, and we're like, we know it's going to get hot, but we don't care.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I tell everybody with a black RV, because like, for instance, we have this little black Falcon over here, and everybody's like, well, that doesn't make sense. It's just going to get hot. And it's like, you don't really do this for a practical reason. It is really just to look cool. So.
You know, and if I were to do this whole project over again and, you know, build something crazy, you know, with the intentions of living in it, with the intentions of it being functional, I would not do black. You know, but for the sake of it catching attention, and I mean, it just looks sexy too, right?
You can't not recognize this just going down the road.
It catches a lot of attention.
Tell me more about what's going on here. Yeah, because this is definitely a showstopper and catches everybody's eye, it seems like.
So when we first built it, Keystone gave us the option of picking any Montana floor plan that we wanted, and we landed on the 3791 for several reasons. One of the reasons was the exterior storage space that this rig has, and so this tray, we turned it into the beverage bar center, if you will. So the tray was custom built for this area. It was built by Moride. And then this kegerator was also custom built by Dometic.
So cool.
This is only one of 2 Dometic kegerators in existence.
Wow.
And so people are always curious about how it works. So somebody could probably recreate this if they wanted to, but these are just regular kegs that I think they bought online, and they pressurize off of these little like CO2 cartridges. So they just go in here, and it'll pressurize any liquid that you want. So we actually usually put hard alcohol in it and then feed the hard alcohol to the margarita machine. Over here.
That is really cool.
And then these are these little black things here are actually 3D printed because the tabs need to be able to fold down in order for the tray to clear the bay.
So many different little things that you have to think about. That I'm sure, like, when you first have the concept of an idea, it's like, okay, that's a cool idea, but is it practical? Like, can we actually make it work?
And how do we pull it off? I mean, the idea is only a fraction of what it takes to pull something off. And then these are CNC routered. So our logo and then Dometic's logo here.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are a really clean look too.
Thank you. Yeah, I love them. And then this TV, you push this button here and it slides down. So everything just stays right where it is on travel. So the TV will go all the way down enough to clear and get in the bay.
That's awesome.
And then right here we've got the margarita machine with 3 blenders. The other blender is inside at the moment. But yeah, it's a fun little party setup, right? You know, feeding the hard alcohol to the margarita machine. And then this is a wine chiller with 3 bottals. And we usually put the margarita mix in there to chill.
It makes sense.
We are our own little rolling party.
You also have, as we walk back this way, this is not a typical door you would get on a Montana. You can see my reflection in it. Is this all glass?
It's all glass. Yeah, it's all glass on the exterior. And I was actually joking with Lippert. Lippert's a supplier to the industry. They supply, you name it, they supply it, you know, air conditioners, windows, front doors, cargo doors, all those types of things. And I was joking with them as we were building it, and I said, everything else is custom on this RV. I need a custom front door. And they were like, we can do that for you. And so this is what they provided for us. So
that's awesome.
It is glass on the outside, but on the inside, there's like a panel and some insulation in there, and then there's a window that's about this wide by about this tall or so that has a shade on it.
Awesome.
So it's not all glass from the inside.
Right. And then I see you have slide toppers on all your slide outs.
Yep.
I know that's a pretty standard thing that anybody can get on an RV.
Yeah.
We're obviously looking at a lot of stuff that is highly custom and is not
Yes.
exactly available for the average consumer. But things like slide toppers, you can at least get that on your standard
and
Montana.
you know, slide toppers are nice. So with our business, it's renovating RVs. So it's taking pre-loved RVs, doing a cosmetic gut job on them, and rebuilding them to however the client wants for the interior. And so since we've torn so many of them apart, I've gotten to see the bones and the inner workings. And we have actually seen a correlation of RVs that have slide toppers that do not have water damage. And we've noticed that when we find water damage, it's typically in rigs that do not have slide toppers. So slide toppers serve a lot more of a purpose than just keeping debris and stuff off of the roof of your slides.
Interesting. I actually didn't know that. There's a couple things I usually talk about with slide toppers, but water damage is typically not one of them. So I'm glad to know that.
You know,
that
we've
is
seen a
something
correlation. So if you're kind of on the fence about slide toppers, I would suggest getting them. And these are actually upgraded slide toppers, of course. So you can kind of see, if you come this way, you can get an angle.
Yeah, on the edge where it connects to the sidewall there.
Right here, it's what's called metal wrapped. So when the slide goes in, all of the fabric sucks in under that metal, and the metal protects the fabric from the sun.
Interesting. Yeah.
And the awning's the same way, it's metal wrapped. So what you're seeing right now up here is the metal protecting the fabric.
Oh, okay, that is right.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
You don't see that very often. It's kind of an upgrade to the standard. But
is that something that like an average consumer can get?
I think so. Yeah.
I've never came across that, so that's interesting to see that.
Yeah, Dometic was behind the slide toppers and the awning too. So check with Dometic, and they could probably get you something.
Yeah. So before we move on, I want to just make sure y'all know that her business is the Flipping Nomad. We're gonna get more into what it is that she offers and provides and stuff like that. We'll probably get into that when we get inside the RV. But just know that she has a ton of resources for y'all to learn how to do things like this to your RV. So she has a ton of knowledge that is very, very valuable, whether you're just an average RVer, you're a full-timer, and whether you just want to know more about your RV or renovate your RV. She has so many resources that we're going to talk more about here a little bit later. So let's go back to this part over here.
The party does not end up there. The party keeps going back here. So this storage bay is standard in this Montana. And you can probably see how dirty it is. You know, it's been on the road. I'm realizing, I just flat did not have time to get it clean before now. But anyways, yeah, another reason we chose to work with the 3791 Montana is because we said we could put in a killer outdoor stereo system, which is what we have here.
Yeah.
And then this bay is just empty. It's got personal stuff in it. And then
because you have this model has a big slide out tray.
It does, correct. And like Myles was talking about, the business of the Flipping Nomad is renovating RVs, and we actually renovate for clients, but we're also teaching folks how to do their own stuff. And we actually just yesterday closed our shop outside of Austin, and we packed all of our shop into this tray in another RV, and we're going mobile with the business now. So when we first built this RV, the Ultimate Montana, this tray had a Traeger smoker in it and a pizza oven and an integrated kitchen. So it had like a grill and a sink and a cooktop and whatever. But unfortunately, those had to get the boot as we've gone mobile. So now there's like a table saw and a miter saw and all sorts of other crazy tools back there to build these RVs.
Crazy. And you can see these all the different brands that had a play in making this happen. You can see like the Skins brand up there for the wrap on the RV as well and everything. But yeah, lots of different pieces that came together to make this happen.
A lot of pieces. And what was interesting when we built it, when Keystone first approached us, they were like, look, they're like, something like this in the industry has never happened before. There is no how-to book. We have to make this up as we go. And my team and I were like, we're in, like, we'll figure it out with you guys. And so once we started the build, the word started getting out. And at first we thought it would just be like a regular renovation and we would just do some cool colors and whatever. But then as the word got out, all of these people on the back of the rig here, all these logos that you see, joined the project. And so we originally thought the project would be 6, maybe 8 weeks, and we finished out at 5 months.
Wow.
Because we got to do so many cool things, like the wrap, like that custom kegerator, like the solar, all of those other pieces that we just were not expecting going into it. But it was really cool to see the industry's response to it, where they were all excited because now it's like this breath of fresh air and we get to do something unique and different that hadn't been done before.
That's awesome. Now, on the other side of the RV, there's really not much going on that side, right?
No, not really. There's the same set of storage bays on the other side.
We'll walk around and just so you can see it, but there's really no exciting stuff going on over here.
Nothing special other than it's extra dirty on this
side. So yeah, she is in the middle of traveling. And
yes.
You can tell that is in the middle of
road
traveling.
grime
which is totally fine. But
hey, it's real life RV stuff, right?
Exactly. Let's go back to the other side.
Yeah.
Now, how many solar panels are on the roof there?
So there's a total of 11, and there's 2 different sizes, and so in total it has 2,600 watts.
That's crazy.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. The roof is basically almost a solid solar panel.
Yeah, so I'll show some clips on the screen here so you can kind of see what the roof looks like. But what were some things that you came across as you're thinking about putting solar in there that you had to think about, as far as just, I know that's a lot of holes in the roof and stuff like that, and then solar it's not always consistent and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's dependent on the sun.
Yes, yeah. So this solar install was really like drinking out of a fire hose for me, because prior to this, I had a little toy hauler. It wasn't anything special. No slides, 33 foot, one flooded lead acid battery, and I had a portable ground deploy solar system on that, which is basically, it's also called a suitcase. And so you unfold the solar panel, you stick it on the ground, and then with battery clamps, you clamp onto the battery, and then the charge controller is already built into that panel. It's a great way to ease into solar. Myles, I can send you the link and you can maybe tag that if someone's interested, because it's a great way just to ease into solar. So I went from that to this, and so it was like, holy God, I got a lot to learn here. And so starting on the roof, with there being 11 panels, each panel is mounted. Well, I think the big ones have 6 mounts, the smaller ones have 4 times 11 panels. So that's somewhere, in the 50 to 60 range of mounts, and each mount has a couple of holes in it. So now I'm looking at, 120 or so new holes that I have in my roof that I have to keep an eye on. So I get up there about once a month and just check on the seals and make sure that no water is getting in through those screw holes. I'll go up there and clean them every once in a while too. Some people say that dirty panels don't cause any sort of efficiency problems. Personally, it just makes me feel better knowing that they're clean. So.
It would make me feel better too.
Yeah.
That's almost like, I'd have a hard time believing that.
Yes.
When you see especially how dirty RVs can get when you're just towing them on dirt roads.
And especially, it's the rig's been parked at our shop for the last couple months, which is the shop was not paved, so there was dirt flying up, and so I know the panels are just gross right now. And I'm also traveling, so once I get stopped, I'll get up there and scrub them.
Right.
But yeah, so I gotta, pay attention to that. And then also one thing that I didn't really realize is the difference of summer sun versus winter sun. Now, it is currently July. We are in summer sun right now, which is good. So the difference of winter and summer sun, with summer sun, the sun is in the sky for much longer. The sun rises much earlier in the day, sets later in the day, and the sun is much higher up in the sky. And so solar panels really want to face directly to the sun. So if you think this is the panel here, in summer sun, the sun is coming up and it's directly over the panel, and the panel really likes that. So the more direct the panel is to the sun, the more efficient it's going to be. In winter sun, the sun is not up in the sky as long. Sun rises a lot later in the day, it sets later in the day, and it's much lower in the sky. So the sun is more at this angle to the panel. So it's a lot less efficient. So winter sun sucks for solar, right? Because you don't get nearly the number of hours, and the sun is much lower in the sky. So that's why you'll see sometimes on RVs, it's what's called tilting. And so the panels will tilt up. And so a lot of the times all of their panels will tilt one direction on the RV. And so they will face their RV in a coordinate, according to where those panels are pointing, especially in winter sun. So if they know the sun is low in the horizon that way, they'll tilt that direction. But that takes a special panel, and excuse me, different mechanisms. I don't have tilting. I wish I did. I might upgrade to that at some point.
That's interesting. I actually haven't even heard of the tilting panels until just now, but that makes sense. That's something I wouldn't have thought about either, but it definitely sounds like there's a lot of mechanical parts that go into putting something like that together.
Yeah, and then even, you know, the next step up, there's like automatic tilting too. I don't know of any RVs really that have any. It's more like, you know, municipalities, but the panels will rotate throughout the day and they will literally follow the sun as the sun moves through the sky. I would really love that, but
right. So yeah, I know a lot of you that have been watching my videos, especially my recent ones. I'm talking about solar a lot because I think I'm getting more questions about that than almost anything else. And I do tell everybody, like, you can always get a generator. Like, you don't have to get a super elaborate solar package. A generator is, you're not going to have to depend on the sun and things like that. And you're looking at a much more significant financial investment to get an entire RV to run off of solar than you are a generator. So keep those things in mind, but there are options out there. And also keep in mind, you have to have room for a big enough battery bank like she has up front and enough roof space to get enough panels up there to regenerate that power going to the batteries and whatnot.
And it's all kind of sized too. So Battleborn, they're the brand of battery that we have. They recommend 2 watts of solar for every amp hour of battery that you have. So, you know, me, for example, I've got 1,080 amp hours of battery. So that should be about 2,300 watts on the roof. I've got 2,600 up there. And so the roof is a little bit oversized to the amount of batteries that I have. However, I like it that way. That's a good thing because that means the panels can recharge the batteries at a faster rate. So if you're going to oversize something, it would be better to oversize the amount of panels that you have. Also, I just realized we did not touch on the inverters. And so we need to go over that because, you know, with solar, so the panels are like your gas pump feeding the gas tank. And then the inverters pull the power out of the batteries and run the RV. So you can actually come this way.
You can see them through the pass-through
You can see them. I've got 2. They're the white boxes mounted on the wall up there. Those are 2 3,000 watt Magnum hybrid inverters. And so in total, it's 6,000 watts of inverted power. And I'm sure people are probably like starting to glaze over, like, what does that mean? So each inverter is responsible for an air conditioner and half of the rig, basically. So the rig is fully inverted. And what that means is any 120 volt that is in there, I can operate. But the other interesting thing about it too is with having 2 inverters, even with the inverters on, they still pull power. And so if I'm not using all of the RV, I will usually turn the second inverter off just to conserve
conserve
power.
some battery power, because essentially with a solar system, it's really just making sure that your batteries have enough juice in them to continue running everything. I think that's where a lot of people don't have an understanding of exactly how power flows through an RV, where you have like your 12 volt system and your, you know, 120 volt stuff that's in there and things like that, and how that power is dictated and whatnot. And your batteries, if you're wanting to run the whole RV off of solar, it's really your batteries that are running the whole RV, and the solar is charging the batteries to keep that power going to the RV without your batteries dying on you.
Right. Yeah, and it's tricky to kind of understand it all, but you know, if someone's still kind of like glazed over and they're like, I don't get it, like RVs have 2 electrical systems. There's the 12 volt system and the 120 volt system, and the way that I think about it is like gas and diesel. So like 12 volt is like gas, you know, 120 volt is like diesel. You know, a gas car cannot run on diesel and a diesel truck cannot run on gas. And so that's kind of like the difference there. And then depending on how much each item in there is drawing, that's what's called watts. And then watts with whatever type it is, you know.
So essentially it's like with the inverter, you're basically taking gas and inverting it to make it diesel. Basically, that's basically what you're doing with the inverter. So that allows you,
in its simplest form.
Exactly.
It gets more complicated. But
that's a really good way of putting it, though. I haven't heard it explained exactly that way, and I will probably steal that from you.
It's yours.
To explain that in a way that makes sense to a lot of people, because it's even complicated to me. I mean, there's a lot of things.
It's tricky, you know, and this rig's almost 3 years old now, and I've been the caretaker of it since it was built, and I actually own it now too. And so I'm now 3 years into having this massive install, and there's still some things about it where I'm, you know, a little a little in the gray area on, you know, but yeah, solar's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
I think that's a good point to point out though, because like I've been in the industry now selling RVs for 3 years, and it's like I'm always learning new things. I say in so many of my videos, I am no certified RV expert, because I mean, I feel like you need to be in this industry for 20 plus years to really like fully understand everything about an RV. There's just so much to it. And so, yeah, we're always learning different stuff.
I've been a full-time RVer for 8 years. Which was how the business got started. I just couldn't find an interior that I liked, and then.
Well, let's do this. Let's go inside the RV, show some of that, and then let's hear more about how you came into.
One more thing before we go in. The nerds will appreciate this. It does have independent suspension. So.
Let's get down underneath there and take a look at that.
Each tire operates independently, and it creates a super smooth ride. So you maybe kind of shoot the other side there.
Yep. Yeah, you can see it down under there.
Yeah, really a nice system.
Yeah, definitely something that is. Your standard Montanas, they're going to come with the road armor suspension, which is a nice suspension system. It gives you 6 inches of travel, but this is definitely like the next step up from that.
Of course, it's an upgrade. Yeah.
Well, let's go inside and take a look inside. All right, so we are going to come inside here, and
come on in.
This is the coolest looking Montana you will ever see. That's
here it is in all of its glory.
Yeah, it is amazing. So I know there were a couple different things that made you pick this floor plan here, because you, like you said, you could have picked any floor plan from Montana. So explain a little bit more just on the inside concepts of what made you want to use the 3791 as kind of your shell for what you wanted to do.
Yeah, so there was a lot. So, you know, like I mentioned, I've lived in an RV full time now for 8 years. When we first started building this project, I was 5 years in. And one thing that I had really missed was just having access to a bathtub, you know, and you want what you can't have type thing. So when Keystone first started talking to us about this, the only thing they asked for was the wow factor. They said, we just want you to push the envelope so hard that people are just going to lose their minds when they see it. They said, we want you to push so hard that people might not like it, like they'll appreciate it, but might not like it. And so with that, I said, we have to get a bathtub in there. Like that will so be the wow factor. Like people will lose their minds over it. And you'll probably hear that water pump pressurizing. That's pressurizing the fireplace, which we will get to in just a second. But so I said bathtub has got to be a priority. And so I searched high and low on the internet to find like an RV sized freestanding bathtub.
Was that hard to find?
Very hard to find. But found it, and it's made out of acrylic, so it actually only weighs 85 pounds.
I'm just gonna go up there and show it real quick since we're talking about it. Yeah, let's go up in here.
So that's kind of the star of the show up there.
It is pretty incredible. Yeah, very, very nice, elegant looking bathtub. You can tell it's probably a bit smaller than maybe what like
so it's 60 inches, and I think a standard residential tub is 72 inches. So it is a little bit smaller, but there's about 1 inch, you know, on either side of it that have clearance.
And go ahead and go in there.
If you can hear it, it's made out of acrylic, so it only weighs 85 pounds.
Yeah, so it's lightweight. That's something I would have not thought too, because it looks like it'd be like, I guess, would a normal like tub like this be porcelain? Is that like, or what?
Or even cast iron, where it takes like 6 men and 5 horses to move it, you know? So yeah, it only weighs 85 pounds. And this is a window right here that we actually cut in. This window is not standard. That's not standard at all. And we brought the bathtub in through the window.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I know that's another question I'm sure you get all the time is how the heck did you get a bathtub
brought it through the window.
Yeah, so that's cool. And then you put the shower head up here.
Yeah, there's a rain shower head here. And then this is the bathtub filling faucet here.
Yeah, but you have a handle there as well.
Yep, and then there's another shower head right here too.
So I know something that a lot of people probably will wonder is like, this is very different than like the plumbing would be on a standard Montana. Is doing something like installing a shower head like that on an RV that doesn't have it, is that something that is like, how challenging is it to do that?
It's kind of challenging because we had to figure out how to get the plumbing up into the ceiling. So we did have to tear the ceiling apart, and we had to tear this wall apart. And then there was a skylight here too, and we sealed off the skylight in order to have this. And honestly, so this is actually my personal RV. I do live in it full time. And so I actually do use this to shower. When I'm showering, I actually use this one because I find it to be a lot more efficient than this one up here. And so what people have to realize is with this, because this puts out so much water that you would have to have a tankless water heater.
Yeah.
And that's what this rig has. So to bring people up to speed, RVs typically have a tank water heater. There's 3 different sizes. And so you are only limited to what that little tank can produce.
Right.
With tankless, the water heats up as soon as it passes through the mechanism. So you have unlimited hot water.
Right. And then, any of your Montanas, they're going to come standard with a 12-gallon gas electric water heater, but you can upgrade it to a tankless if you want. And then that's something where I also talk about the Alpines a lot, because Alpine is going to be a competing brand within the Keystone hierarchy with Montana as well, that comes with a tankless water heater standard. So that's something that's really important to you. There are plenty of ways to make that happen. But we can come on out of here. Let's go back into the living area. So we'll walk around. Let's go up into the living room, because I know this fireplace is definitely another one of the show stoppers here.
And
as well.
so back to your question of like how or why did we pick the 3791? So the bathtub and this fireplace here was the 2 reasons we picked it. And when we were first talking to Keystone about this, they said we want the wow factor. So I went back home and was like brainstorming, like what could we do? And I went to a coffee shop just to like start getting my creative juices flowing. And as I was sitting there, I was staring through a double-sided fireplace in this coffee shop. It looked into a lounge. I'm just like staring through it, like trying to get my juices rolling. And I was like, I am looking at an idea right now. I was like, double-sided fireplace, that's amazing. And so when we figured out we could put a bathtub in and do a double-sided fireplace here, I was like, okay, we got to do the 3791.
That's crazy.
And so this is actually a water vapor fireplace. So what you are seeing right now is water vapor illuminated by light bulbs.
Right, yeah, you can see the light bulbs down in there, but it's crazy when you look at it. You put those little rails up there, so when you look at it from this vantage point, you can't even tell that
it looks like real flame.
Yeah.
And so it does not give off any heat. It does give off a slight little bit just with the light bulbs, but not like a space heater heating element.
Right.
And one interesting thing was since we built this RV on Keystone's campus, we had to build it to code. And they have a code, it's called zero clearance, and it says that a fireplace cannot get hot enough to melt a slide, which, okay, that's fair, right? And so to find a fireplace that fit the aesthetic here that would pass the code was proving to be impossible. And I was just pulling my hair out, like, this is not going to work. Like, we might have to scrap the idea. Like, what are we going to do? And so I was talking with another guy that was involved with the build, and he said, well, I used to work for this company called Dimplex, and they do these water vapor fireplaces. They're usually in hotels, but maybe they would want to be involved. And so he made a phone call. Next thing I know, this thing showed up, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. So Dimplex, if you're interested in something like this, they just incredible fireplaces.
That is awesome. So let me ask you, before we get too far into the video, what is it that your company provides to help people that are looking at this and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do something like that to my RV? What resources do you have to help people out?
So I started the business just because I couldn't find what I wanted. And then I was posting about it on social media and just for my old college friends to see what I was doing. And lo and behold, the power of social media grew the business, and it kept growing and growing. And no matter how hard we worked, we couldn't keep up. And so we reached this point where we were just turning away dozens, if not hundreds of people. We currently have 2,200 people on our list to be notified when we have something available.
Gosh, that's crazy.
And it just got to the point where we were like, all we're doing is telling people no. We cannot build your RV for you. We just don't have the capacity. And so we're like, how can we still service these people without actually building them their RVs? And so that's when we're like, we just need to teach them how to do it. And so all of last summer, we spent 4 months filming a how-to course, where we walk you through the basics of what an RV structure is like, so you know what you're working with, and then like, how do you paint? How do you install tile so it's roadworthy? This is real tile actually back here that you see. How do you install it so it's roadworthy? What are your countertop options? How do you paint the cabinetry? How do you do flooring? And flooring's a really tricky one too, because what you're looking at right now is actually sheet vinyl. So it is one solid sheet. It's what the manufacturers use. And it weighs hardly anything. And that's what you really have to be careful of with RVs is number one, weight, and then also number two, the shifting on the road. So if an RV is moving, it's going through an earthquake, and so you have to build to keep up to that. And then also temperature fluctuations. And so that's why we work with sheet vinyl, because it can stand up to all of that.
Yeah.
So that's all baked into that course, like teaching people what they can do to their own RV.
Got
and, and we've really recognized that there's like the chances of somebody finding an RV that fits every single one of their boxes, it's impossible.
Yeah, it doesn't
so
exist.
if you can find one that gets you like 90% of the way there, like we can show you how to get to that final 10%.
Yeah, that's what I tell
everybody. And put your little
everybody.
custom pieces on it.
Yeah, I tell everybody when they come to look at RVs that they have a really specific list of things that they're looking for. I'm like, I have to kind of level I have to level expectations. Like the perfect RV just does not exist. There's only so much that manufacturers do within each floor plan design and things like that, where if you look at too many options, you'll find something here that you like and something there that you like, but you won't find something that just has everything all in one unless you come to and you come to someone like Courtney that can teach you how to do these different things that you want to change in your RV and do it the right way, because I'm sure you've come across tons of horror stories too of people doing it the wrong way.
You know what was interesting is I did my first renovation for myself 7 years ago.
Wow.
And then 2 years went by, and I was in a different period of life. And then that's when I started the business, was 5 years ago. And that was before any RV renovation was popular on Instagram, on TikTok, nothing. Like I did a Google search for RV renovations, nothing came up.
Wow.
You know, so if I kind of toot my own horn here, I was kind of one of the pioneers of this little niche, you know? So back then it was like, we were the only ones that could provide something like that, but now people are seeing it on everywhere on the internet, you know, which is great. I love that people are recognizing that, but people are also starting to get in above their heads. And so we've had 2 what we call rescue renovations, where people have started the renovations and then got in over their heads and pay us a lot of money to fix what they have done wrong. And like if you guys would have just bought our course, which was only a couple $100, you know, it would have saved you that headache of having to send your rig to us. I mean, we had one rig that made a 2,800-mile round trip journey to and from us to be fixed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I know that everything that goes into RVs, like if maybe even if someone has worked on a house or something like that, like this is just still such a different structure than what that is. So there's a lot of different things that are in your courses that are going to help you guys see the behind the scenes stuff, what's under the shell of, you know, what you see on the exterior here, so you really know what you're working with. And it's a great resource. Where do they go to find your courses? I'm going to put it down in the description
so our
down
website
below.
is theflippingnomad.com. You can see some of our past work there, and then the classes that we offer.
Awesome. So yeah, I will have a discount code that y'all can use. So it'll just be Myles. It'll be spelled out on the screen there because it's Myles with a Y. But you'll have a discount code there. So that link will be down below in the description, and definitely encourage you, even if you're just wanting to learn more about your RV, and definitely if you're wanting to do renovations to your RV, go get her courses, because they are going to really prevent you from having any headaches as you go through the different projects that you're wanting to do and things like that.
Yeah, we always say we went through the school of hard knocks, so you don't have to.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, and another example of that is I had a follower who was going to change a slide around and make it some bunk beds, and she needed to extend the platform, and so she hired a residential construction person to come in and help, and he put a piece of plywood down on the slide to extend it, and just started drilling screws through the subfloor like a madman. He put probably 50 screws
so you can't move the slide.
Well, he didn't realize that the slide subfloor is literally a piece of plywood that's this thick. That's it. There's no framework, no insulation, nothing. Your subfloor is that thick. He used screws that were this long.
Gosh.
So she had 1.5 inches worth of 50 screws sticking out on the bottom of her slide.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Thankfully, I mean, they didn't bring the slide in prior to catching that problem, but that's a perfect example of the difference of residential construction versus RV construction.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about what you've done with the place in here. So you have a desk set up in here as well. Any like future plans to change anything? I know you just changed this.
Yes, so this
pantry
pantry is still kind of under construction right now. I just rebuilt it like in the last couple weeks.
So you used to have the dishwasher in a different place.
Correct.
Right? So
yeah.
it's a dishwasher.
This is a dishwasher here
underneath there.
Yep. So originally, when we first built this RV, this was an open shelf pantry, and it was beautiful when it was on display. But then, COVID happened, and the mission of the project kind of changed a little bit. So now this is more of like my personal RV than it is a showpiece. And the open shelves just drove me nuts. Like they were always like I was constantly packing them, and then you get your like boxes of rice-a-roni and your cereal boxes in there, and it just looks terrible.
Yeah, you don't want to see it.
And RV air filtration leaves a lot to be desired. These rigs are constantly dusty, especially when the air conditioning wasn't running. And so the shells were dusty.
That's something too with the newer Montanas, because you still have like the traditional whisper quiet ACs in here, but you've seen in a lot of my videos now where they do have those Coleman mock ACs that have the residential air filter instead of just like basically that's just a black little foam thing that catches maybe pet hair.
It's that thick and about that big, and that is it for your air filtration. So anyways, that's why I was like the black open shelves have got to go. Like I can't deal with it anymore. So I'm in the process of rebuilding this right now. You'll see I don't even have cabinet doors on it up here yet.
I mean, it almost looks like you left it that way intentionally.
Almost,
so no one would even really know that they were supposed to be cabinet doors
and then
on
this
there.
is actually a microwave convection oven air fryer combo. Yes, I'm very excited about it.
So with something like that, if somebody wants to like install something like that, is it pretty easy to take out whatever microwave it may come with and just put a different one in there?
Yeah, for the most part. So if your microwave has like a trim piece on it like this, and you can get to the screws here, you can just unscrew it and take it out. There's other times it will be that they use these giant bolts that are like this long and come in from an upper cabinet like here. So it kind of just depends on what your floor plan is like. But yeah, this one, my mom actually loved this one so much that she bought it and put one in her rig too. But her cabinet was not deep enough, so we built a little box right here to extend her cabinet out, so she had the depth that she needed.
Got it. Nice. So you went with some gold accents in here, definitely.
And a gold sink.
Yeah, definitely unique
dirty in
and
there
different.
too, but
That's all right. No one can really tell on the camera.
Good.
So. Yeah, it looks really good. Let's go up into the living room area and kind of finish up with showing kind of what's up here, because this is, from what I understand, this is all custom furniture that you got.
It is, yes. And this was a really cool experience too, because until this build, I had only been able to work with the furniture that I could find, and so I'm limited to the Amazons and Wayfairs of the world, and 3, maybe 4 options at best. And this was all custom built by Lippert. So Lippert said any style, any color, any fabric, anything that you want, you can have it.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, oh my gosh, like that's an overwhelming experience.
Right.
So
that's almost
we
too
went
many
with kind of
options.
like a fun rounded one-armed couch here. And then a little bit of a triangular couch here, just to do something fun and different.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then you have the projector screen.
Yep,
on here
projector is down here, and it shoots to the screen back here. And there is a window back here as well. So when the screen goes up, we've got the window here.
Yeah, that is
and then
awesome.
when we first built the RV, there was 2 beautiful white custom chairs that were right here, and I loved them so much. But I really needed storage to store more of my like digital content stuff, like cameras and tripods and stuff like that. So I'm gonna build more of a storage console here instead.
Nice. So when y'all built this, I'm just curious, like, because in a traditional Montana, you have all the shelving here with the retractable TV and stuff like that. Did y'all just get a frame that didn't have that in there already, or did you have to take that out?
Correct. No, they did not give it to us at the factory. So that was kind of interesting too, is they did build us as much of a shell as they could at the factory, and it's not something that they do. Like it was a very like controversial thing that they did for us. And so we sat down with them and gave them the components that we did not want. So we said, we don't want this, we don't want any of the furniture, we don't want whatever. And what was really interesting was to learn on their side of it, so for example, we said we don't want the vanity because we're going to put in a new vanity. And they said, well, we have to put the vanity in order to set the wall around it. RVs are built from the inside out. And so they were like, once everything gets put together, if you don't want the vanity, you can take it out. And we're like, okay, well, we want the wall, so we'll take the vanity. And so
that's actually a really important point, because I get a lot of questions from people that watch the videos here, like, can we order a RV without this part in it and without this part in it? And that's not really an option, because like she's saying, they build the structure around how the floor plan is designed. So if they take pieces away from the floor plan, that just, it's, it takes time off of their production to continue to make the RVs, but they also aren't designed to be constructed really any differently than how they come.
Right, yeah, and it was, we were kind of laughing at this shell as my team, imagining what it was going to be like going down the assembly line. We're like, it's probably just going to speed down the line, and, the teams are just going to be sitting there like twiddling their thumbs because they're not putting anything in. Well, later we found out that it was holding up the show, because the teams, they know exactly what they're putting in every RV, and they do it in every single one. And so when this shell comes to their station, the teams are like, well, do you want us to install what we usually do, or do you not? And so the plant manager actually walked down the assembly line with this shell the whole way, and that he was like, we're never doing that again.
Yeah.
So bless his heart, for being such a team player on it. But yeah, it's been really fascinating, for me as a consumer to learn what it takes on the manufacturing side of it just to pull off a normal RV, let alone a custom shell.
Yeah. It is pretty incredible. The only part that we're not going to show is the bedroom, because you are in the process of traveling. I'll probably put an image of it up on the screen so you can see what it looks like.
It's kind of a mess up there right now.
Because you have a fireplace up in the bedroom as well, right?
Yeah, so there's another same technology as this water vapor fireplace. It's actually double-sided between the bathroom and the bedroom, so you can see it as you're sitting in the bathtub.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, yeah, that's awesome. It's really cool what you put together and everything here, and I really am excited for so many of the people viewing this and people that view my videos to have a place to go where they can learn about how RVs are constructed. And I mean, her videos are going to give you even more knowledge than I have. I know I'm gonna learn a ton from going and watching her videos as well, but I really encourage you to go check out the videos she's created, because you have basically 2 different courses as of right now, correct?
Yeah, as of right now, we have what we're calling Beginner's Boot Camp, subject to change. We're working on a different title for it, but that just takes you through like the basics of RVing, and we wanted to put that into play because it's important for you to understand just like the basics of an RV before you dive into the fun of renovating it and potentially screw up something, like running 50 screw heads through your subfloor type thing. And so that one is like the basics of how do slides operate? What's a roof structure like? How are these RVs sealed? What are the 3 type of slide mechanisms? A crash course on solar even, how do you ease into solar? You can go buy that, $300 panel on Amazon and use your way into it, and then and then we get into more of usage. So like, what's tank maintenance like? How do you go out boondocking? Those types of things. And then we touch on renovating a little bit in that beginner's boot camp. But that kind of sets the groundwork for anybody. So if you're brand new to RVs, you don't own one yet, or you own one but you're still kind of new, that one's a great like crash course. And then the other course that we have is the full-blown like RV renovation course, which is how to take a stock RV and turn it into something like this.
Yeah, that's awesome. How many videos are in your courses?
So the Beginner's Boot Camp was something that we are actually in the process of refilming. But currently it is 6 about 1.5 hour long lessons. We taught it live last year, and it was so successful when we taught it live. We recorded everything, thankfully. And so the Beginner's Boot Camp is just replays of those lessons, but in total it's about 9 hours of instruction.
Oh my gosh!
And it's only $97. Like it is, it's a hell of a value.
That is
right?
so much information.
Yeah, and then with the RV renovation course, it's at currently over 100 modules and over 70 videos, with 30 more videos in the pipeline waiting to be uploaded. And then at that point, we'll call version 1 complete, and then we've got a whole nother list of things we're adding for version 2. And so if anybody joins the courses, they get all of the future versions. Like we aren't creating another renovation course. You get all of those edits and the additions as they come.
That's awesome. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Like I said, there will be a link down below in the description, and I'm sure this will not be the last time you hear me talk about these courses, because she has so much information that I just don't have, that even just through me trying to explain it in my videos just is not going to give you the same value of the information that she can provide with her videos. So I definitely encourage you to go check those out. Again, I will have a discount code so you can get a percentage off on that. It's going to be like 20% off, right? That they can get.
We've kind of got a cool thing going, like Myles and my team here, because Myles is so knowledgeable with new products and new floor plans and what the manufacturers are doing, and then we kind of pick up where Myles leaves off, basically. But we get asked all the time, what's an idea for a floor plan on this, or I'm looking for this this specific thing.
Yeah.
What floor plan can I have? And I'm like, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
go see Myles. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we're really gonna kind of join forces together and create a lot of cool stuff for this whole RV community.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So that's pretty much everything. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up.
All right.
All right, y'all, that's all we got for you. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below and definitely hit that subscribe button. Like I said, there will be a link down to Courtney's courses with the Flipping Nomad on how you can make your RV look like this and also just understand more about your RV as well. So really excited about that and hope y'all enjoyed the video. Go check out her website. There's so much cool stuff on there. And that's all we got for y'all. Any final words?
Nope. Thanks for watching and thanks for having us. This has been fun being here.
Absolutely. So, all right. Till next time, we'll see you out camping.